Good day, virtual learners. Welcome to another episode of Reading and Writing. How have you been? This week marks the last week of your midterm. Are you ready for the final term next week? Do you already have your new set of learning packets with you? Before we start with our discussion, do not forget to type your attendance at the comment section. Our most essential learning competency for this morning's virtual session is identifies properties of a well-written, specifically organization, coherence and cohesion, language use, and mechanics. A quick recall of some terms relating to our discussion for this morning. See, as we are discussing properties of well-written text or paragraph, what is a paragraph? A paragraph is a group of related sentences joined together to develop one idea. I know you know this definition. Second, a paragraph is a series of sentences that develop one topic or thought completely. And then this one topic or thought pertains to a single idea or a main idea. And then this main idea should always have its subject matter or the topic. This time around, I know you have discussed this one with your subject teachers. What are the characteristics of an effective paragraph? Now, the first one is we have unity. Unity is the quality of sticking to only one idea from the beginning till the end. With every sentence contributing to the central point or the main idea of the paragraph. The second characteristic is coherence. Coherence means that all of the ideas support the topic sentence. It allows the reader to easily understand ideas expressed by providing links that allow a smooth flow of ideas from the first to the last sentences in the paragraph. So what should we do to achieve coherence in a paragraph? We have to use connectors or transitions. The next characteristic is emphasis. Emphasis means highlighting or accenting the most important ideas in the paragraph. This is intentionally done for the reader to easily remember and recall those important ideas. Now let's move further to a more specific topic regarding writing paragraphs. How about a topic sentence? A topic sentence is actually the gist of the paragraph, or it talks about the main idea or the subject. Another is the topic sentence dictates the unity of the paragraph, wherein it can be stated or implied. So what is now the characteristics of a good topic sentence? A good topic sentence should have new information. It should be specific. It can be general enough to invite exploration of the topic. A good topic sentence is strong, and a good topic sentence is stated in a positive language. Of course, if it is stated in a negative language, it might offend or intimidate your reader. And last, it should be interesting to your reader. For everybody's knowledge, the topic sentence actually has two parts. The first part is the topic itself, and the second part is the controlling idea. I believe this is a new word to us, right? So what is now a controlling idea? The controlling idea is the point of the paragraph, wherein it limits the scope of the paragraph and it may reveal the writer's opinion, point of view, or attitude toward the subject or paragraph. Another is the controlling idea may provide specific limitations. Let's try some sample sentences to identify the topic and its controlling idea. I have here this statement, and I want you to identify what could be the topic and the controlling idea. I'll do this one for you. The statement is, running provides many helpful benefits. Here, our topic is the word running, or the concept of running. And the controlling idea here would be helpful benefits. This gives an idea that the paragraph will talk about running, and the supporting sentences enumerates its helpful benefits. How about our next topic sentence? Let me read. The basics of using an SLR camera can be mastered with considerable practice. So what do you think here is the topic? And what is the controlling idea? You may just answer it by your mind or while you are reading this sentence, okay? So here, our topic is an SLR camera, while the controlling idea is the considerable practice, wherein the reader knows that such mastery comes with practice and the writer's opinion or perspective. Next, for our third statement would be, when writing a laboratory report, you must complete 4 sections. Our topic in the statement would be a laboratory report, and the controlling idea would be the 4 sections. Why? Because the controlling idea specifically states the limitation 4 sections. So here, the controlling idea provides limitations on a certain paragraph. Thus, the reader can predict that the writer will list and describe the 4 sections in order. So I hope now you see now the significance of the controlling idea in making your topic sentence. Let us try another set. I have here 2 paragraphs. First, we will locate the topic sentence by commenting the statement number. Then we will identify the topic and the controlling idea. Ready? I will read the paragraph first. So there, this is the first paragraph. Fireworks indicate happiness and rejoicing. On every 1st of January, millions of firecrackers are exploded in a sort of rejoicing and jubilation over the coming of a new year. They are fired to welcome a prosperous new year and to say goodbye to the year that passed. What do you think is the topic sentence of this paragraph? You see that there are 3 identified statements. Is it statement number 1, number 2, or number 3? Comment your answer. So as you see here, the topic is fireworks and the controlling idea is happiness and rejoicing. If you would look at the rest of the paragraph, the topic sentence affirms what is to follow. So for example, in pointing out happiness and rejoicing in the paragraph, there is a mention of there is a sort of rejoicing and jubilation over the coming of a new year on the statement number 2. Okay? So are you ready for the next one? Let us see. Let me read the paragraph again. He takes a walk every morning. Walking makes him feel better, he says, because it makes his muscles strong and it gives him a good appetite. Walking also relaxes his mind. Walking is, for him, an excellent physical relaxation and exercise. This time around, we have 4 statements to choose from on where is the topic sentence. So what statement number do you think is the topic sentence is located? Number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4? Comment your answer. So here, the topic sentence is located at statement number 4. Walking is, for him, an excellent physical relaxation and exercise. The topic sentence here provides a summary of what has been previously mentioned. From the examples given, we can say that topic sentences can assume different placements in a paragraph for a specific purpose. Were you also able to observe those things? That we can actually see topic sentences, or we can write them on different parts of our paragraph. So this time around, let me present to you the different positions of topic sentences. So we have topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph, topic sentence at the 4th line of the paragraph, and reiterated in the last sentence. That is too specific, right? How about the 3rd one? Topic sentence at the end of the paragraph, topic sentence in the middle of the paragraph, and for the last one, implied topic sentence. So let me present to you examples one by one. So here is for the topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph. This provides the reader an immediate knowledge of the topic and scope of the paragraph, and thus serves as a map for the details that follow. This is most frequently found in newspaper articles, where the headline may also assume the role of topic sentence. So you see here that in occasions wherein we can see the topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph, it would be the instances wherein headlines or newspaper headlines are being written. So here is an example. Let me read. So you would see here the italicized words or sentence is actually the topic sentence. Again, let me read the statement or the example. Perhaps the easiest way to becoming familiar with a certain town is to ascertain how the people in it work, how they love, and how they die. In our small town, everyone is bored and devotes their lives to cultivating habits. They work hard for the purpose of getting rich. Their chief interest is doing business. Naturally, they don't engage in simpler pleasures of lovemaking, tea bathing, and going to movies. Very sensibly, they reserve their pastimes for Saturday and Sunday and use the rest of the week in making money. The young people's passions are violent and short lived. The older men's vices range beyond addiction to games of balls, to socials or clubs where they spend and lose money by playing cards. So you see there how essential is the topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph. Let's now go to the second one. Topic sentence at the fourth line of the paragraph and reiterate the last sentence. So what about it? The initial sentences of the paragraph provide supporting ideas of the main idea. Before the author provides the topic sentence in the middle of the paragraph and later restate the topic sentence at the end of the paragraph. This will serve as a concluding statement which also gives emphasis on the main idea. So there we have the topic sentence at the fourth line and our statement on the last sentence of the paragraph. Here is an example. Early in the morning, it was a little cool and their shadows stretched out tall on the sidewalk in front of them. But in the middle of the day, the sky was always blazing hot. The glare was so bright it hurt to keep her eyes open a lot of times. The plans about the things that were going to happen to her were mixed up with ice and snow. So that is our first topic sentence. Sometimes it was like she was in Switzerland and all the mountains were covered with snow and she was walking in the cold, greenish colored ice. Her father will be skating with her. Her friends will also be there. They would be skating together and her father would fall through the ice and she would dive in without regard to peril and swim under the ice and save his life. That was one of the plans always going on in her mind. So that is the restatement of the topic sentence. Let's go on the third placement. So we have topic sentence at the end of the paragraph. When the topic sentence is located at the end of the paragraph, it summarizes the previous details. Typical reasons why authors choose to put their topic sentence at the end of paragraph is to create suspense or bring up a controversial topic. Here is an example. People do it every day. They log onto their favorite website and browse for hours, checking out bargains. They dump every possible wish into their shopping carts, knowing they can cast each one aside before they finalize their purchases. On the way, they may enter a sweepstakes in the hopes of winning a trip to Cabo San Lucas, or maybe even a new US SUV. And then, when they have decided on their purchases, they enter private information without giving it a thought. With a keystroke, they release their personal data into what may or may not be a secure zone, despite what much of the public believes internet shopping is not safe. So here, our topic sentence talks about the hazard of internet shopping. How about this one? Topic sentence in the middle of the paragraph. When the topic sentence is placed in the middle of the paragraph, it provides a transition between two kinds of details, those appearing before the topic sentence and those appearing after it. The topic sentence links related but different idea. So it might sound confusing to you, but this is an example. When a camera flash is used in a low light environment, the subject's eyes may appear red in the finished photograph. What is known as red eye is the result of light from the flash reflecting off the pupils of the eyes. The phenomenon of red eye can be lessened by using the red eye reduction feature found on many SLR cameras. This feature activates a lamp which shines a small light directly into the subject's eyes. When this happens, the diameter of the pupil is reduced, thus tightening the opening in the iris. Since a smaller pupil means a smaller host for the reflection, the chances of red eye occurring are greatly reduced. On this particular example, you would see that on the first part or on the initial sentences, we can see there that it talks about the problem, which is the red eye. Then, after the topic sentence, it now discusses the solution that they may give to address the red eye on photos. Now, let's move on to the topic of attaining coherence in paragraph. So, as what I have discussed with you a while ago, this is part of characteristic of an effective paragraph. So how can we attain now coherence? We may use here transitional devices. Transitional devices are phrases and connecting words or conjunctions wherein these words and phrases tie the ideas together with the paragraph and indicate the thought relation among the sentences. Wherein these transitional devices can be used wherein you want to summarize, to compare and contrast, and other things. So what are now the different ways to organize ideas? So we can organize them according to time order, point of view order, logical order, either deductive or inductive order. In time order, this is the order used in narration or in telling stories or description and other expository pieces. The order of time is the simplest and most common, but it demands careful selection of events. So here is an example from Some Swiss Impression by Albert Bigelow Paine. On the afternoon before Christmas, the bells began. From the high mountains, out of the deep ravines that led back into the hinterland, came the ringing. The hills seemed full of bells, a sound that must go echoing from range to range, the north and to the south, traveling across Europe with the afternoon. So you see there is a mention of the word before on the afternoon, which are time markers. Next, point of view order. So in the point of view order, it doesn't mean about one of the elements of a short story, okay? So in the point of view order, this one can be used in descriptive writing, wherein some order of space or point of view in which details are arranged from near to far. So in a point of view order, it depends on how the author would want to refer on a certain image or a certain object, whether he is near to it or far from it, from outside to inside, or from the striking details to the minor points are employed to create coherence. So here is an example. Like a flash of lightning in Manila, sped the report that the tyrant had fled at last, and like thunder reverberated the rapture of the metropolis. It was as if all the New Years of the 20-year dictatorship had been saved up for this one historical outpouring of delight over the people's liberation. It's impossible to describe the wild joy of people driving round and round in all types of vehicles, shouting, waving banners, and greeting each other with the Laban sign. Everywhere shone the Philippine flag. The hordes on the streets were giving away food and drink they had prepared for what everyone thought would be a long siege. Despite the public exuberance, there was no dangerous wildness. That night, the streets of Manila were really safe. So what is the point of view here? You see here the words in italicized, like Manila, metropolis, everywhere, streets. So this one points on a certain location. Okay, so you would see now the point of view of the author from what he or she was writing. How about logical order deductive? So on the logical order, we could see here how the author arranges the ideas, whether it is from specific to general or to general to specific. So for the deductive, it is from general to specific. So here is an example from Lenten reading. Compassion is a virtue with many faces. That is that topic sentence. It is a sharing of pain or failure, of brokenness or fear or anxiety. It sometimes means to mourn with those who mourn, to be lonely with those who are lonely, and to be weak with those who are weak. It is something we do without thinking of or measuring the cost or worrying about time. The compassionate are not in the lifeboat showing life preservers to those drowning in the ocean. They are in the ocean themselves, helping the others into the boat or to the safety of the shore. For the inductive, which is from specific to general. These days, China's streets are reverberating to the rap of the salesman's patter. On an evening stroll down Shanghai's busy Wuchang Road, the passers-by will be accosted by insistent roadside vendors. Some of the 100,000 or so at work in the city. Others scenes signal the changing temperature of the place. In the evenings, the newly rich turn on their video sets and watch films from Hong Kong. On campuses, economics talk about supply and demand and refer reverently to the price mechanism. And in smoky billiards halls, dissolute young men plot criminal escapades on suddenly mean streets. A normal enough picture, perhaps, but not that fits with anyone's idea of communication. So here in the inductive method, the topic synthesis is at the it's at the end of the paragraph. Wherein this one, this paragraph talks about a certain picture of what is happening on their communication. So after the coherence in paragraph, now let's go to the attaining emphasis in paragraph. So we have arrangement in order of climax, repetitions and parallel structure, proportion, and position. Are you still with me, virtual learners? Let me see a thumbs up if you are still with me. Moving on, let's have the arrangement in order of climax. This usually is based on narratives or stories. So here is an example. Once more, the door banged, and a slight, slim-built body, perhaps 15 years old, a half-smoked cigarette hanging from one corner of his mouth, leaned over the high footway. His pretty yellow complexion did not show very well on a person of his years, and his look was a mixture of irresolution, bravado, and very cheap smartness. He was dressed in a cherry-colored blazer, knickerbockers, red stockings, and bicycle shoes with a red flannel cap at the end of his head. After whistling between his teeth, as he eyed the company, he said in a loud voice, says, "It's take outside." Okay, so you see now the order of climax on how they have built and described the boy and the story. Next, repetition and parallel structure. These are two other devices used to attain emphasis in paragraph. The free repetition of words and phrases is allowed to serve as a guide to flow of ideas. Parallel structure is the use of similar expressions to express similar ideas. Here is an example from the novel of Charles Dickens entitled The Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison. So the parallel structure here is the repetition of the phrase, "it was the." Okay? So you see here the effect of that when a certain author makes use of this parallel structure or repetition on his or her paragraph. The third one would be proportion. Proportion gives emphasis when it is secured when the amount of space allotted to ideas varies according to the relative significance of the ideas. Thus, more space is devoted to an important idea than to a comparatively minor idea. Let us see the example. One thing you must consider is that you should only eat wholesome food and drinks. Water is the only natural drink, and pure water is the best fluid to take into the system. In fruits, we take fluids in a very pleasant way, and milk is to a large extent water. From these three sources, we will obtain as much water as we need. Tea and coffee are harmful, especially. They make people feel that they have had something to eat when in reality, they have given nothing to the nourishment of their body. Tea and coffee are both stimulants. Children need nourishing food to build up new body materials as well as to keep their body in repair. Taking into their body which makes them feel as if they had been fed when they have not is very harmful. I always feel sorry when I see young people drinking tea and coffee. So this one is very scientific, right? So you will see that the proportion is giving a certain portion on something that is positive and something that is negative, and both of which are significant. Next would be the position. In the position, the beginning and the ending are the most significant parts of the paragraph. Putting the ideas one wishes to emphasize at the beginning or at the end of the paragraph is a good idea. The middle portion of the paragraph is allotted to less important sentences since they are to supply the details. More often than not, the last sentence is a recapitulation or statement of the main thought or topic. So you see here how critical paragraph writing is. So we have lots and lots of considerations in writing one. So here is an example. Taiwan came a long way to a respected industrial giant. It has the biggest international reserves, 69 billion US dollars. It has seen no strikes since the 50s provides the highest wages for labor. It is perhaps the only place where nobody is unemployed. So here you would see that there is the positioning of the topic sentence. Now let's move on to the question and answer. So you're surprised that we are already done with our topic for today. So I have here a question that needs to be answered. And I believe you're also asking this yourself. The question is, what is the significance of locating topic sentences? If you can recall, we have been discussing this locating main ideas back when you were in elementary, right? But until at this point of your schooling, it is still important. Identifying sentences in a paragraph is very important to help readers understand the main message of a selection. So this one is on the part of the reader. So if you are the reader, it is important that you know how to locate topic sentences for you to understand the main message of a certain text. Another is it helps the reader to comprehend and process the information being read. At the same time, it may help the reader read on a faster pace. If you know how to easily locate topic sentences, it will also be easier for you to finish reading faster. How about for the writers? As a writer, being conscious on where you will indicate a topic sentence will help emphasize their point or make a coherent paragraphs. At the same time, it is also a way of establishing their own style of writing. I hope you are satisfied with the answer I gave you. Once again, we are done with another virtual session. I hope that it has been a meaningful one. With that, happy learning. Goodbye.